real as it gets.
Hey, this is Marcia Prince, IFBB Bikini Pro and Guest Berry Nutrition spokesmodel, and you are listening to the UCW radio show, In Your Face.
The number you have reached, 911, has been changed to a non-published number.
You're listening to UCW Radio.
In your face.
Give it to me, baby.
All right. Welcome to the UCW radio show, and this is the show where we feature celebrities, pro athletes, authors, business leaders, basically some pretty inspirational people. Our mission is to bring guests on this show that will share the story of their journey to date, in their words, their way. Now, in the world of kickboxing, you have those that become world champions. And then you have those that take that stepping stone a bit further. And Olivier Gruner is a kickboxing champion that took it more than a bit further by leaping headfirst into the Hollywood scene. With over 36 movies under his belt, this warrior is still raising the bar, using his skills to not only make great action films, but also to inspire others to step up their game. Before we bring him on the show, I want to remind all of our listeners to check out UCWmagazine.com for our interview archives. And also, you can follow me on Twitter if you want to get the latest show information and hear my rants. And, hey, you may get inspired by some of my tweets. Who knows? You can catch the UCW radio show on iTunes, Play FM, Stitcher Radio, Myro, and many others globally. Just search around, and we're there somewhere. Make sure to check out ActionMagStore.com for the latest information from the largest martial arts event of its kind in the world that takes place in Atlantic City every January, the Action Martial Arts Hall of Honors. On the UCW radio show, we are looking to bring guests on the show that have not only accomplished great things, because you have a lot of people that accomplish great things. We don't want just people that accomplish great things, but we want people that also inspire. And our next guest is one of those people. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming action film star and world kickboxing champion, Olivier Gruner, to the show. Olivier, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
No, thanks for coming on. You know, we've been trying to do this for a little while now.
Yeah, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. You know,
it's all good.
Yeah, it's all good. You know, you've been busy. I want our listeners to really understand who you are and what you've done. You're a world kickboxing champion. You've achieved levels that most fighters to this date, wish they could achieve that. But you got there. You know, and I guess we'll start at the beginning. What got you involved in kickboxing in the first place?
That's a good question, actually. When I was a kid in high school, I got beat up. So I got a little bit bullied left and right. So my father was a surgeon, you know, my brother's a surgeon, so we kind of nerds, you know. So I was not really physically fit, you know. I was kind of a very skinny kid. So, and then I decided that, you know what, I'm tired of this. And one day I was watching a movie, and I'm sure a lot of people got inspired by the same person I'm going to talk about, Bruce Lee. Mm-hmm. And I decided, you know what, that's enough. I got to do something. So I started to learn karate, Shotokan, and I spent a lot of time actually not even joining a class because now you have gyms all over the place, but in the old days, in the 70s, you know, you didn't have a lot of gyms around. So I had to buy a book, and I started to learn karate and the different kicks just from a book. So I spent 1 year doing that, and so I was looking at myself in the mirror all the time and just tried to imitate, you know, what the image was giving. So that's the way I started really learning how to kick. And then I joined, during the summer, I joined a class, and I was in south of France, and the instructor was really, really good. So he was very technical. So everything was like, had to be perfect. And, when you learn Shotokan, especially when it comes from the Japanese, everything has to be perfect. You have a great discipline. Everything was, I had a really good basic after I left, the seminar. So then I realized, karate was one thing, but I wanted to move on a little bit with kickboxing. And, at that time,
how old were you at that? How old were you at that point?
I think I was 23, something like that.
Oh, then we have
to.
We have to crank back a little bit, because I don't want to go too far ahead, because I really want people to know, what you're all about, because you studied Shotokan and you trained.
Yep.
But when you were a teenager, you actually joined the Commando Marines.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we can't forget that, because that's pretty important stuff.
I don't know that. Well, I didn't, but we were thinking about the martial arts, so that's why we were talking about the martial arts.
Yeah. But it's my job to stop you.
Yeah, no, you're right. You did a good job. So, during high school, this is what happened. During high school, I was in one best high school in Paris, and this is where I got bullied a little bit. And after high school, I joined the Navy. And I was supposed to join the Foreign Legion, but my dad said, no. You're going to go to the Navy, and you're going to be a diver. You're going to be kind of the Navy SEAL here. It's called Major de Combat. So what I did is I joined the Navy, and I ended up in Groupe Fumaco, Commando de Pinfantonio. Pinfantonio is kind of a recon, those guys who were getting all the informations, and then everything is behind it, and so it was pretty interesting. Then what we did is I got a couple of missions, I went to Africa, to Djibouti, Somalia. I got actually captured in Djibouti for a couple hours, and not a lot of people know about that. That was kind of it was very fast, I made a mistake, and my guys went one way and I went the other way, and I got in trouble.
Yeah.
And I escaped. So
that's not fun. That's not fun when they hold you captive.
Well, yeah, but you know what? If I was captured for like 1 day or 2 days, it will affect me a lot. But because it was only a couple hours, and I got lucky. They tried to take me to the village. If I got into the village, I would have been done, sure. But because, I just, I guess it was not my time. So, and I had the chance to escape, and I escaped. And at the end, I think it was a total of 3 to 4 hours. Can't really remember very exactly because I was bleeding a lot. But anyway, that was, some of the adventure I lived out there. And then we did some, we came back to France, and we started doing some training, assaulting boats. So the thing that's going on now in Somalia with the pirates, that was happening already. It's not new. And we were training to take over tankers and also fishermen boats. And actually, we have one mission that we did that we took over boats. So, and I was in 79, 1980,
Olivier, what I want to do, because you're bringing that up, and since it's fresh in my memory, a lot of people look at what's happening in Somalia, what's happening with kidnapping of all the girls. For them, it's new. But that's been going on forever. It's just that people don't write about it. They don't say anything about it.
Now, you know what's interesting is that's because of the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, really, that changed our world, in the old days, we had only newspapers. So the only information we could get is only the newspapers or the TV. That's all we're, but now, with the internet, if you really want something, a story to come out, it's pretty easy. You Google it, and then you get the story. So, And I think that's what, you start to understand what's going on all over the world, But that has been going on forever.
Yeah.
It's not new.
Yeah, that's why, because I was in Africa too, so, this is nothing new. That's why when people say, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Yeah, it's been happening for some time.
Exactly.
Oh, too much. But let's get back to your... Say again?
Okay. I just wanted to ask you, where did you go in Africa? Where were you?
I was all over West Africa, from Sierra Leone, Liberia, all the way down to Burkina Faso, Benin, DRC before they split. So,
yeah,
the fun places, but getting back to you. So you were a commando, you were a diver, you were doing recon. And then after you got captured, you started doing other tours, I guess?
Yeah, after we did a couple more things, and then that was it, and then it was the end of my career, so I wanted to go back to join the Foreign Legion, and actually this is what my dad said, hey, listen, you go to the Alps, spend some time over there, and just, if you really still want to do it, just go, but, the Foreign Legion is a little bit different. First of all, you sign for 5 years, and you really can't get out as soon as you sign it. You have maybe 6 months of probation, and then that's it. And then whatever you do, in those days, actually, if you sign, you will change your name, you will change your identity, and you will not exist. You will be a totally different person. So, I said I wanted to do it. But, my life changed and went to a different direction. And this is actually where I started training, being passionate about martial arts.
When you went to the French Alps, that's when you started training.
Yeah.
I mean, exactly. You've been training, but I'm saying training to actually fight and get into the ring and do that type of stuff.
Exactly. What happened is that when I was in high school, I learned a little bit, and then I went to the Special Forces. We learned a couple techniques, but it was not great. And then we went to, and then when I went to the Alps, I started really learning, be more passionate about the sports. And I started to learn boxing, kickboxing, and I went to, this is where I met Dominique Valera. And I joined the French team, and this is where we start, my competition career.
But before you started competing, when you were training, because your father actually told you to go to the French Alps, but it wasn't like he was paying for your training. He just said, go to the French Alps and go. That's where you need to go, and that's what you did. And you actually had to do a lot of things to survive.
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, we had, my father told me to go there because we had a place there. So, it was something, we had another cottage, but an apartment there. So, and he said, just go over there, just spend, 2 weeks skiing, and maybe you can get a job and just try to, change your life a little bit. So I did, and actually I met a girl, and then we started dating, and then, the whole thing, and I still training, and I started to learn, the whole martial art thing.
Yeah, and that's what it all starts with the woman. With the woman,
the woman. You're right. You're definitely right.
Yeah, but
there's always a woman story somewhere.
Yeah, there has to be, because why would you be inspired to do such a thing? Well,
exactly. Yeah. Without women, we would not be here, right?
Yeah, exactly.
In front of the TV watching soap.
Yeah, exactly. You need inspiration to do that extra thing. So you join when you join the French team. What happened at that point?
Well, I grew pretty fast because what I did is I knew that the best kickboxers at that time were in the U.S. So we had Bill Wallace, we had Jeff Smith, we had Benny the Jet, and all these guys were fantastic. I mean, they were really great kickboxers. So what I decided to work and get 3 jobs, and I will be getting some money, you know, and try to save a lot of money so I could go to the U.S. and train with the best.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to get to Bill Wallace, but I could not. So actually I went to Jeff Smith and met him he was in D.C. at that time, and I trained with the U.S. team, and I started to be better and better. And also before that, I went to New York to the Gleason's gym. Gleason's gym is
I know
one of the
Gleason's.
best gym in the world for boxing.
That's where I trained. Trained at Gleason's.
Yep.
In Brooklyn.
The Gleason's. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And at that time, the Gleason's was in Manhattan. It was close to the Madison Square Garden. And then they moved to the Bronx, and then they moved to a couple places. But I got my ass kicked there, I'm telling you. Because boxing, these guys were fantastic. I mean, it was a different level. And but you know, I was not using my feet, so it was only boxing. So then after I went to, I met Jeff Smith, and I trained with them. And then a year later, I came back and I went to Benny the Jet, and I trained at his gym, you know, the Jet Center.
Mm-hmm.
And that was also a fantastic experience. The only person I couldn't get to was Bill Wallace.
Well, you can get to him now.
Oh yeah. It's, I'm telling you, these guys. It's funny because you know we don't realize that these guys were idols. You know, these guys were like God for us. You know, these guys were like, you know, they were amazing to us. Just to meet these guys, you know, these guys were fantastic. You know, and training with them was not even better than anything. You know. So,
well, you're training with the
so I got
best.
lucky.
Yeah, well, these guys, you know, Bill Wallace, Bill Superfoot Wallace, Jeff Smith, Benny the Jet, you know, for all intents and purposes in the world of kickboxing, and Joe Louis, you know, legends.
Yeah, Joe Louis too. Yeah, it's true. Joe Louis was really another one that I forgot to mention. It's funny because now, you know, people see them differently, you know, but these were really the guys who made the sport bigger than life, you know. So.
Yeah, I mean, they started everything. They paved the way for everyone else to do what they're doing today. Because without that, they wouldn't. Same way, as you said, you got inspired by Bruce Lee. Same way that anyone during that generation did. Okay, they got inspired by Bruce Lee. You know, you mentioned earlier that there weren't any traditional dojos or facilities that you can go to. You know, that's when you started training. I mean, I know I did, and started training in the basement. You start. I mean, yeah, because that's what we did in New York anyway. You go and you.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, you're training in the basement with roaches and rats flying all over the place, but you know what? You're still training.
You know what's funny is like now we don't realize how lucky we are to have gyms all over the place. You know, before gyms, I mean, in Europe was only for people who had an accident to eradicate themselves. You know, that was the only way we could get to a gym. You know, if you were hurt, and it was not like it is now. You know, now you have to go to the gym. You know, it's kind of a must. But we have gym all over the place, which is great. You know. So.
But you know, the thing is that I see that's positive if, with kids, because martial arts breeds discipline and can give them a better life, in my opinion. And if they go to the right facility, they go to the right teacher, they'll get the right training and get the right direction. And, hopefully that would better their lives. I know it saved the lives of a lot of people that I know.
No, I totally agree with you. But I think what you mentioned is what's really important is instructors, teachers.
Exactly.
And you can have the best gym in the world. It doesn't matter. The gym has everything. If you don't have the right instructor, the right sensei, your training can be a waste of time,
Yep.
And that's what's really important when you go to the gym. It's good to look at the gym, but look at the instructor. Look how they teach. And teaching is not easy because you can be really good at what you do, but you can be an awful instructor. You need to have patience, and you have to understand the human mentality, and the psychology behind. How to translate, what you do physically to another individual can be pretty challenging. Sometimes it is. But it can be really, really rewarding. That's why when people teach in teachers, I think when they accomplish their goal, I think it's when they finish their lesson, sometimes you feel so good about it because you can see your students evolving. There's an evolution of the student.
Yeah.
And you can really be proud of yourself,
And not everyone can be a teacher, and that's a reality. And I'll even, just so that our listeners can get the picture, it's the same way as saying that you can be a great martial artist, but you can be a horrible action film star. Because
you're definitely right.
Yeah, because it's film fighting is different than real fighting, so you have to master that. Like you have the likes of James Liu, great martial artist, but great action film figure, which is fantastic. Yeah. And what we're going to do, Olivier, we're going to take a break right now, and we're going to come back because we're going to talk about your Hollywood career and everything, and what you have going on now. All right, so I want everyone to just stick with us. We're going to hear a couple of tunes, and we're going to be back with Olivier Gruner on the UCW radio show.
Show me your love. I'm burning up, my heart's afflicted. I miss your touch, got you so addicted. Won't you put me out of my misery? I need a fix. You're my favorite drug. Can you take me high? One hit ain't enough. So light me up like a spark, want it all tonight. I need your love. Got me going crazy, won't you save me? Show me your love, show me your love, show me your love, your love. In the night, it gets louder, losing my mind, can't fight the power. Something deep inside my soul draws me to you. Yeah, you got my heart racing, anticipating, but you ain't got a clue. And I can't take it, suffocated, my body yearns for you. You're my favorite drug. Can you take me high? One hit ain't enough. So light me up like a spark, want it all tonight. I need your love. Got me going crazy, won't you save me? Show me your love, show me your love, show me your love, your love.
I'm so addicted, you can't resist it. And when I'm gone, I know you miss this. I give you all of it, cause I know exactly what you wanna get. You want that love, baby? No ifs, no buts, or maybes. You want it guaranteed, and I promise I'll never leave. DJ, you gotta play this. Got my girl intoxicated, elevated, highly rated. I mean it, that's why I say it. So whenever you need that fix, call me, and I'll rush like a blitz. I just wanna kiss you on the lips.
I need your love. Got me going crazy, won't you save me? Show me your love, show me your love, show me your love, show me your love, show me your love. Your love, 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 your love.
All right, now we're back with Olivier Gruner on the UCW radio show, and we left off talking about Hollywood and action films, and let's get into it because you have about 3 dozen films under your belt, at least that I know of.
Yeah. I think it's 40 now, and I think like 3 TV series.
Well, I couldn't scroll down that far.
It's full. It doesn't matter. I don't count anymore.
So when was that? Where was that transition? Because when you were training, and obviously it came to a point that you became a world champion, and then it progressed from there. What got you into Hollywood, and how did that all work out?
It's very interesting. My dream was not really to become a movie star or to be in the film. Not at all. That was not a dream for me. My dream was to move to the U.S. and to open a gym. That was really my dream. That's the truth. So what I did is, like, one day we spent sometimes with my friend Dave and a Swedish friend all together, and we work in the Alps, and we decided to move to the U.S. It was 3 guys and 1 dog, a Saint Bernard.
That sounds like a show.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was really interesting story.
3 guys and a dog.
So 3 guys and a dog. So what we did, we worked in the Alps, make some money on the side, and then we decided to go to the south of France in May and just to work for the Cannes Film Festival, to do some security stuff. So we went there. So for me, I got the job as a security, in front of the theater. You control the badges. If people can get in, they can get in. That was my job. Mm-hmm. And my friend was putting posters all over the place, and the other guy was doing something else. I forgot. So it was pretty interesting. So we worked for I think it was 10 days, and Dave told me, say, hey, Olivier, why don't you put a poster when you were a champ, on the wall? I said, stupid. I said, no, I'm telling you, just do it. So I did it, and guys were coming into the theater, and there's one guy, he looked at it and said, hey, who's that guy? I said, well, that's me. And he said, oh, really? And he touched my muscles and said, oh, that's pretty good. He said, well, you do films? I said, sure. Of course I didn't. I said, sure. All the time. And he said, well, why don't I, write to one of my friends who's looking for, for somebody to replace Van Damme, because Van Damme was too busy at that time and he was really popular. So they could not keep in, they wanted to shoot one thing after another one, but he could not because he was busy with everybody. Mm-hmm. Everybody wanted him to be in their films. So he wrote to Imperial Entertainment. Imperial wrote me back. And they asked me, say, if you come to LA, come and visit us, and, maybe, we'll see, if we can do something. We are looking for somebody, to star in our films. I said, sure. So, of course, Dave, me and the Swede, we flew to, and the dog. We flew to Pennsylvania Pennsylvania first. And we stayed with his family, with Dave's family, for like a week. And then I bought a car, an old Jeep, and I traveled the country back to Los Angeles, where I met a friend of mine that I used to date. And there's always a woman somewhere,
And the stories, the woman. See, that's what inspired you to go cross country.
Oh yeah, that's true. That is true. She was very clean. So anyway, I arrived in LA. What was very funny about LA is I was on the phone with her and I was saying, hey, I've been driving for 2 hours. Where is your place? It's like, it's pretty far. 2 hours. You cross, a quarter of France. And I said, no, you have to keep going. You're almost there. I said, oh my God, we don't realize how big America is. So, and finally I arrived, and I installed myself into her cousin's place, and I stayed there for a couple of weeks. And at the same time, we had an appointment in film entertainment. So I went to the office, with my girlfriend. So she was playing that she was my agent, kind of, my manager.
See, you got all Hollywood from the onset.
Oh, right there, man. And I knew absolutely nothing about Hollywood. Actually, I never read a script before. I didn't know anything, So I met those guys, and then 2 weeks later, they said, well, why don't we meet with Eric Carson? So Eric Carson was a director for the next film they were doing. So I met Eric, and Eric said, I'm going to tell you something on you. If we meet today, it means that this is happening. And for me, I don't know about Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody tells me we're going to make a film. Oh, we're going to make a film, right? I didn't know that there was a lot of rejections. I didn't know there was a lot of bullshit in Hollywood. I didn't know. Like I said, I didn't know anything about it. So, of course, I met with a writer, and we started writing the stories, which was Angel Town, based on one of my life experience, some of them. And then 2 months later, actually 3 months later, I was on the set, shooting my first film. And that was pretty, that was, like I said, when people tells me, how do I start in Hollywood? I said, I don't know. I mean, there is no, you can be an actor at any time. You can be walking in the street, having dinner. People will ask you if you want to be in the film, and if you're right there at the right time at the right place, it can be your time.
Yeah.
Just be ready for it.
Yeah, but look what happened to Matthew McConaughey. He didn't go into it wanting to be an actor. Somebody just asked him. He said, "Sure. Do you know how to act? Sure. Yeah, I'll do it." And look at him. He won an Oscar. Beautiful. He's a great. I love that guy. He's fantastic.
Oh, he's great, man. What a performance. But you know what I think about life is really, a lot of people, don't understand that life is an adventure, and you go through ups and downs, all the time. I mean, that's part of life. And, we came in this life with nothing, and we're going to leave with nothing. That's a fact, But during that period, try to do the best you can, It doesn't mean, when people talk about success, really what is success? Success means that you are rich, you are powerful. No, really, if you are happy. I mean, it's really that's what the bottom line is. If you are happy, that's success to me, If you have a family and your family love you and they love, you love them, this is success for me. This is my success for me. But, in terms of being a big movie star in Hollywood, you know what? For me, I didn't become huge. And I'm going to tell you, I think I know the reason why. And I look at my life as a martial artist, and I look at my life as an actor. As a martial artist, I went to the best. I didn't go through the medium instructor. I went to the best of the best. And obviously, at the end, you become good, In acting was different, I just stayed with the role, because there was a lot of money involved. So I decided, I'm going to make some money. And I didn't go with the best, and I think this is where, my career didn't go as far as I could have taken it. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to do it, but it means that, I'm not, at the top of the top. That's it.
Well, I mean, look,
right?
I mean, you touched on something to me which is important as far as, the rendition of success. Some people chase the money, they chase the fame, they want to be known for nothing. They want to be known for being famous for nothing. I mean, this is what they do, and it becomes an ego thing. For me, I guess where the true wealth comes in is when you, at the end of the day, are the people that are surrounding you. Who are these people, and how close? I mean, how happy are you in life, and did you do good out there? If you say yes, that you have good people in your life, you were a good person, you did good for others, at the end of the day, you would have passed away being one of the wealthiest persons or people in the world. And that's what it's about.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's and sometimes you have to look back and really analyze your life. And I did a lot of stuff. I turned down a movie with Avi Lerner, for a lot of money. That was years ago. And you know why? Because I was taking my commercial license, helicopter commercial license.
Ah.
And and of course, well, so I turned down the movie.
Choices.
So
Choices.
Yeah, choices.
But what's important
look,
to you in your life,
Yeah. But look at it. I worked 2 years at Maverick. Did tours in the Grand Canyon. I went to Blue Hawaiian, flew in Hawaii, being a line pilot.
Mm-hmm.
I was a pilot for ABC. So I used to fly for the news. And, I just had a really, really amazing time flying helicopters. I mean, that was really one of my dreams, I wanted to do. And I accomplished it,
Well, I know what we're gonna do when I get back to LA.
Yeah, come, I pick you up.
Yeah, no, I went. I actually I'm going. I have to continue it, but I was actually going for my pilot's license only because, it was something that I wanted to do. And getting up in the air and flying a plane, there's nothing like it in the world. Nothing like it.
Oh,
Good.
You know what's interesting? Is because when you fly, you have to really pay attention on flying.
Oh,
so
yeah.
your mind, even if you have any problems, it's really relaxing, because even if it's very demanding, when you relax, because your brain is really focused on the one problem at a time. It's not like you have all the problems coming in, because the problems are real.
Yep.
So it's every time we fly, I love it. And as you know, when you start studying to become a pilot, you cannot stop.
Yeah.
So if I stop I was taking my test, the weekend when I was supposed to leave to South Africa to shoot a film with Abby. And I said, there is no way I can do it. I got to take my test. I don't like to not finish things. I have to finish it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I did. But if I didn't, I would have to come back from zero.
Right.
Which would take another 2 months.
Right.
It's
And
very intense.
Yeah, and that's what happens, because even once you get your license, you have to continue to fly, because they will yank your license.
Well, you need you'll need to. You will not be able to transport any passengers.
No, you transport yourself and God bless.
Exactly.
Oh, so now tell me what's going on with you right now, because I know you have some movies going on. I also know one thing, which I love when people progress. I don't care in whatever they do. I don't care if you work in the office, if you're looking and you're trying new things, you're trying to progress your career. You went from being in front of the camera to you actually being behind the camera as well.
Oh, I'm going to tell you, for every actress out there, or every person who is involved in the entertainment, the best thing that I've done in my life, but one of the best things I've done in my life was to write the screenplay, produce the screenplay, get the money, produce it, film it, edit it, and distributing it. And I'm telling you, if you can't do that, it's at the end of the day, when you look at it, it's pretty amazing, because it's very intense. Trust me, I had nightmares, and everything goes wrong, that's for sure. But at the end, if you keep it up and you finish the film, it's the best reward you can get. And that's why, in the old days, when I was just an actor, I was looking at producers and say, oh yeah, they make all the money and stuff, but you don't understand what it takes, until you do it.
Right.
It's a lot of stress, because every time everything can go wrong, and you have a certain amount of money you can spend. If you have unlimited money, you don't care. If you have unlimited time, you don't care. But remember, time is money. So when I did the first film, that I did absolutely most of it, It's called Sector 4. And it's coming out, Lionsgate bought it. It's coming out on July 22nd. So, and I'm telling you, it was a lot of work, to be in front of the camera, behind the camera. And it's not like I wanted to be in front of the camera, not at all. But because of money, I had to be in front of the camera. Because me, I cost nothing.
Right.
Because I was using my, some money, and I had a little budget, but we have finished it, I edited it, and I distributed it. That was an amazing experience.
But that not everyone has that ability to do that, Olivier, because you can go, honestly, I've seen people that they want to make movies, they'll go make a movie, and it's horrible, but they'll get distribution for it wherever they do, in Cambodia or something, I don't know. But they do get distribution. But to take something that's of quality and a good action film and take it, produce it, you write it, you're directing it, you're producing it, you're starring in it because you have budget constraints, and now the distribution. The distribution is something that you kind of have, you hope to have before you start filming.
Absolutely. I mean, that's really what you need. Actually, you know what? Before I started my career, even I should have gone through distribution because you know exactly what they need at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Some people want different formats. Some people, when we talk about shooting 4K, for example, or 5K or 6K, you look at it and you say, well, why do we need to shoot 4K when it's going to be HD at the end? It's going to be 422 HQ, we call it. So at the end, some territory, they want 4K to put in the theater. But now not every theater is equipped with 4K projectors, So it's really interesting. There's a big change now between what we used to shoot on, which is film, and now digital. Digital is really complicated because we have so many different formats, so many different cameras, so many different encodings. So it gets a little bit complicated. So if you don't do distribution and you start shooting your movie and you decide, oh no, I'm going to shoot 2K, example, and then Russia wants 4K, then you can't do it. So you have to really understand the distribution.
Well, that's a good point. But that's a good point because, and that's why I brought it up as well, because I think a lot of people, they think that they're going to make a movie and then they'll get distribution once the movie's done, but that's the absolute wrong way of doing it. You kind of put your treatment, put everything in order, then you hope and you go and you sell the rights and get that thing distributed, so, ready to be distributed once you're done.
And now it gets very, before then again we had DVD, okay?
Right.
So between the videotape was great, that time. Now we had DVD. Now DVD is gone in Europe. There's no DVD distribution. So we go to VOD, and then we go to different formats, different platform for distribution. And then it becomes pretty complicated. So right now we are in kind of we're going into the downhill before we're going to go to an uphill, which means now everybody's confused of where the product is going to, how to deliver the product to the consumers. And that gets a little bit complicated. We have Netflix, we have Redbox, here, but in overseas, it's different. And remember, your money, really when you're going to make the money, it's not only in America, but you're going to make your money overseas. So it's really important to think about delivering your movie overseas. So you need to understand the different formats that you need before you start shooting the film.
Right, and this is why a lot of, of the action type of films that you don't see in the theaters, even the big action films, even Spider-Man was released overseas first before it came to the States.
I mean, it's pretty interesting. The distribution is amazing. I mean, if you understand distribution, and now it's about relationship with the buyers. Because I went to Cannes, I had a booth at the FM, and I started shooting. I had only one film to sell, which is the wrong thing to do. I didn't know that. You need to have at least 4 or 5 films, because the buyers will come to you, and they have limited of time, so they want to come to you, and you need to have few products you can sell. So they don't, it's better to spend a time, 1 hour with somebody who has 5 films to sell instead of 1 film to sell, So, so I learned a lot, but we did well. We're doing extremely well with Sector 4. So, then again, I was lucky because I could finish it. It was really hard.
But look, you see, some people, they think that I'm going to work hard until like my knuckles bleed, and I'm going to make things happen. Honestly, sometimes it's better to be lucky.
yeah, you're right.
Because I know a lot of people that have the skills and everything that is still, sucking wind. You can be skilled and everything, but as you said earlier, right time, right place. You're walking into a cafe, somebody looks at you, hey, you ever been in film? Oh, no, and then just, that's it. Had you said yes, it could have changed your life, because you never know. You never know.
Yeah, exactly. It's about the timing. It's about everything. What I want to tell is, what I did is I really learned about everything, every aspect of the filmmaking. And that's really important. Example, the after effects. What you can do with the visual effects. That's something that saves also a lot of my budget, because I can do it, So, example, the flash now on the gun, you don't need to have actually blanks. The blanks, if you shoot in LA, blanks will cost you 30% of your budget just because of the blanks, because then you need a cop, then you need a fire truck, and that start to add up,
Mm-hmm.
And I learned a lot, and it's very interesting. I think I should do a class,
That, people would pay for that. Yeah, but people could, because you look at how many people make mistakes. It's funny because I see these people. I see these independent filmmakers. They produce these films. It's like, okay, I have the film, and they try to get it out. Like their MC Hammer, they're selling it out of the trunk of their car. I'm like, okay, where's your distribution? You made the film, you got everything wrapped up in plastic, you have all these DVDs there, but where was the plan in the beginning? Because making a movie without the distribution or without having all these components in order, to me it doesn't make good business sense. And I think that you would clean up doing a seminar.
Yep.
You should.
Honestly, definitely, I was thinking about it because, if I had a guy like me, in front of me before I started doing it, I would have saved a lot of money, lots of money, because I made all the mistakes in the world. So don't feel that you're the only one who's going to make the mistakes. I did them. I paid for it. But, it's okay. Now I learned and I know what to do, what I should not do. On the delivery, we had 1,176 pages of legal. So everything in before you start shooting the film has to be ready before you start shooting the film. Now, a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, but you have millions of dollars. No, we don't. We don't. The budgets are very, very small right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay. It doesn't mean that you guys, independent people, wants to make a film, it doesn't mean that you cannot do the film and still in your budget, If you have a budget, I know people shoot films for $50,000, $100,000, and that's okay. You can still do it. But the main thing is to be prepared, to have all the legal done before you start. Because if you want distribution, especially if you want distribution with the big boys, you need to have your act. You need to have everything done properly. Because trust me, they're on your case. And when you sign the contract, if you don't have it, you're gonna lose it. So, even if your film is good, So make sure that you plan before you start your film, and just look at the distribution. Look at that would be a good thing if independent people want to make a film.
I think you should go on tour. I think you should go on tour and talk about this because seriously, because you have in New York, you get the New York Film Academy. In California, you got the Everything Academy. Okay, where you have actors that are looking to break into the field. You have filmmakers that are looking to do something, but I know because I've just by default, because someone dragged me to one of these classes. And I actually sat there. They were doing a seminar, and I sat there. I'm listening to this, And I was like, oh my God, this guy's so full of crap, because they're not giving anything informative to help anyone. And I said, you know something? I said,
blah, blah, blah.
yeah, it's like blah, 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 look at me, think, blah, 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 buy my little DVD and I'll show you the way. And then you can buy the other DVD and I'll show you the real way. So, but I think you should think about that. You should think about that.
No, yeah, it's true. I think I'm going to do it. I mean, it's really important, and I'm going to tell them all the mistakes I've done, what they should not do, and what they should do, and the proper way from the start to the beginning. Cleaning the screenplay, cleaning the titles. There's a lot of stuff. Like I said, it's a lot of work, but it's not impossible. If I did it, you can do it. That's all I'm saying.
That's it. But look, you have the knowledge, you have the experience, you've done it, and when you're going to do it, you're going to get paid. So for our listeners that are listening, it's not free, because you went through all the pain and suffering, and it cost you a lot of money to get that knowledge. So if anyone wants a mentor, they're going to get in touch with Olivier Gruner, and they're going to find out how to make that happen. So now we're coming towards the tail end of the show. Why don't you let us know what project right now you have going on, and and just what's going on with things that are to date right now.
Yeah. So what I'm doing right now is I just finished writing Executive Protection. Executive Protection is my next film. It's about actually I don't know if I mentioned it. I work as an executive protection for one of the 10 richest men in the world for a year and a half. So I got a lot of experience on that field. So I'm going to bring that knowledge into a film. So that's why I just finished it this morning. I finished writing my version of the screenplay. Okay, so now I'm going to send it to a writer who's going to really finish it. Then we're going to start shooting, I think, in August. The problem with August, there's good thing and bad things. The good thing in August is not a lot of people are shooting in August because it's hot and people are on vacation. So the locations are cheaper. So that's one of the things. And we're supposed to be done for the AFM, American Film Market. And the next show I'm working on is called The Pros, A Way of Life. It's about the behind the scene of pro athletes. I had a contract with NBC in 2003. So I don't know if I can revive that contract, but I'm going to try. And so we're going to talk about different sports, not only combat sports, but also surfing, about everything, and the training behind and the passion behind the sports. That's really what I want to do, showing the passion behind the sports.
I like that. That right there, people like to see the same way they listen to the show because they get inspired. That's why what we're speaking about here, it would be a rarity to be able to speak about it somewhere else, because we're talking about real stuff. We're talking about real stuff.
The real stuff, yeah, exactly. And but sometimes you have passionate people. People are passionate about the sport, and you listen to them. You really want to do their sport, just because they are so passionate about it. And that's why I want to bring it into the pros, the passion behind the sport.
Oh, man, I like it.
What else? So I got this, I got that, and I might fly helicopters, need maybe a part-time because I miss it. And I think I got a couple shows that people ask me to do, so I'll see if I do them or not. It depends. I was supposed to do the Expendable 4, but we'll see if that happens. So we'll see.
Well, that's good. Look, you have a lot of things going on, and I do urge our listeners to, find out more about you, Olivier Gruner, because your life, your story is interesting. What you do is interesting, and I like the fact that how you are as a person. And when we met. And I knew that when I met you and I was talking to you, that I said, this is a good guy, and I like bringing good people on my show. I only bring good people on my show. Anyone that comes on my show, and occasionally I'll get something that's for just for media attention. But other than that, I try to stick to having good people on to tell their story in their words and not mine, and that's what we've done right here. Now,
and drop the ego. Drop the ego out, right?
Yeah, that's it. There's no reason for it.
That's really important.
There's no reason for it. There's no reason to have an ego. You leave it at the door, come in and be real, and that's it. You know. Now, why don't you tell people how to find out more about you? Your website, social media.
Yeah, I have a website, oliviergruner.com, OLIVIERGRUNER.com, and I have also the pros.tv. That's for the show, for the sports show.
Mm-hmm.
And I have an app on iTunes called the Pros MMA. And it's about the different techniques, that you have 80 videos, on that app. That's and it's selling every day all over the world.
Okay, so now wait, you have a Pro MMA app that people can go to iTunes or Android. They can buy this, and it shows you different techniques.
Yeah,
okay.
Different techniques on MMA, and it's only me in it. Tony Franklin is in it, so there's different guys. Show you the proper techniques. So, and it's doing very well. It sells all over the world, which is great. In China. It's easier than making a movie, trust me. That was great.
Well, it's good stuff. Look, if you to have an app like that right now, as people are watching, UFC and all these these MMA organizations, is better to actually see something and learn how to really do it, as opposed to seeing something on TV and say, "Hey, I'm going to try this on my friend."
You know what we did? We never talk about the UFC MMA. It's very interesting because I just want to mention something very, very fast.
Sure.
When the UFC started, I was thinking people would get hurt. I was really scared of the outcome of the UFC. And actually, when you find out, people maybe get hurt, but there's not a lot of danger like they had in boxing. And even in kickboxing, a little bit less, because the referees are really on top of those guys. And I think there's some, a lot of bleeding and stuff. But this is just cuts, We're not talking about people. So far, for what I know, it's not as dangerous as boxing is. So I'm really supporting the UFC. That's one of my things. I love it. I think it's great, and it brings all the martial arts together. The only thing it's missing maybe is a philosophy behind the martial arts. That's all.
No, see, now.
I hope you agree.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. And Dana White would be happy to hear this. Look, he's done a great job with cultivating what used to be no holds barred fighting. Okay. Yeah. And he turned it into a business, a multi-billion-dollar business, and he opened up doors for a lot of people. So as people criticize him, as I say, every pioneer is going to be criticized. Thomas Edison, the Wright brothers, whatever it may be, you're going to get criticized because you're at the forefront, and people are going to look at you because they're not happy that you succeeded because they didn't think about it first.
Yep. Well, I think I'm very excited about the UFC. I think he did a terrific job. It couldn't be better than it is right now. So I was thanking him because he boosted up our business also as a filmmakers, especially for what we did in the past, So that's it.
Yeah, well, and the future's very bright. Olivier, thank you for coming on the show, and I want our listeners to make sure you go to oliviergruner.com, check him out, go to social media, look up his name, check out his app, the Pro MMA app. Check it out. Go, and it'll be on the interview page. So click on it, iTunes, Android, so on and so forth, and make that happen. And we'll be back with you with the next segment of the UCW radio show. And again, oliviergruner.com, and we'll be back with you for the next show.
Initiating shutdown sequence.
You're listening to UCW Radio in your face.
What is your major malfunction?
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Ladies and gentlemen, my mother thanks you, my father thanks you, my sister thanks you, and I thank you.